Richard, obviously you're looking a little bit worse for wear there. Can you just tell us exactly what happened to you in Australia and how you came up with this injury?
So I was taking part of a dual world triathlon in Gold Coast, and it was it was an unfortunate thing that occurred. I pushed the boundaries a bit too much on the bicycle and managed to catch a hand railing in the process.
Recovery-wise, obviously with the Rio Olympics in mind, how long are you looking at?
I think, the original prognosis was about 6 to 8 weeks before I get back into some reasonable training. The shoulder takes quite a while to heal and things get stiff. So, from that, I'll probably, try and tick off 1 or 2 races before I head through to Rio. And, obviously just, make sure I do the small things right and do the rehab right before I get back into some training.
You were saying earlier that swimming obviously is going to be the more difficult one to sort of get back, obviously because of your shoulder. Which is your sort of strongest discipline?
Usually the running and the cycling, I think are my two stronger one, and the swimming is kind of the weaker side. So, it's not ideal that I broke my arm, but, in hindsight, it's still good. It might give me a tiny bit of recovery, and, they said a lot of people have done well off, having bad things happen to them during the year. So definitely, I think I need to keep the mobility going. I need to make sure that when I get back into physio and back into rehabilitation, that obviously I do it slowly and that I do the things correctly to get to the right place.
Obviously, it must be quite frustrating then to be watching your sort of home triathlon from the sidelines this weekend. Just explain to us what the course looks like this year and compared to what you might be facing at the Olympics.
Yeah, so obviously this weekend event, the Discovery World Triathlon Cape Town, is a sprint distance format. So it'll be 750 meters swimming, followed by a 20-kilometer cycle and a 5-kilometer run. Our usual events, the Olympic distance race, we do double that distance, so the duration obviously is going to be double. So this weekend we're going to be they'll probably be doing anywhere from 50 minutes to 1 hour worth of racing. So, it's shorter than the usual distance triathlons that we race and shorter than the Olympic event, but it's high paced and exciting and, gets the crowd involved. And I think, that's a great thing to look at, from an atmosphere type perspective. And obviously in the Greenpoint Stadium, it's going to be, even more hyped up than last year. And it's going to be quite a spectacle to watch, I think.
You personally, do you prefer the sort of sprint distances?
Yes, well, the two World Series events I've won were both sprint distance events against the 6 or 7 time world champion Javier Gomez. So, I do fare better over a 5K than a 10K. But, over the last few years, I have started to, do better in 10-kilometer events and my endurance has actually become better. So, over the next few years, I see myself leveling the playing field and being good in both 5 and 10 kilometers.